I was just curious of when you came to university, did you get more involved in the Filipino community there, or was that a big presence at that time in Berkeley?
Yeah, it was actually very pivotal in kind of putting me on the path I now walk, as I romanticize it that way. No, when I did go to school, I always say that because there were so many conflicting things about affirmative action and Asian Americans, when I was applying to school in the 80s, that I actually did not, uh, I did not identify my race when I applied. So I feel like there's something poetic about that, given what I do now, which meant that the Filipino clubs on campus did not have my information. So they didn't reach out to me. I didn't get any invitations to the Filipino student orientations that the community still does on campus. And so, I didn't feel like I needed to join a club to prove who I was as Filipino. So, but then my second year, there was a woman who was murdered on our campus, who was one of the leaders in the Filipino community there. And so her birthday actually was last week. So every year during homecoming, we actually do an event to remember her. But she was murdered in February, and of my second year, and I remember going to see the services, the memorial services for her on our campus, and watching the community wrap its arms around each other, around her family, sitting in the cheap seats at the Newman Church and watching all of this around me was kind of a gut check for me. It's like, what was I doing in my life? Like, this was a community that I was ostensibly a part of, but I was very clearly apart from, So I like to say that that's what started me on my path. The reality is I took a Tagalog class that fall, and half of the class were, officers of the Filipino groups on campus. And so I just got recruited that way. But, finding them was really, the kind of home that I had been looking for in my college career. So, in addition to doing volleyball stuff, I was, organizing pickets to the provost to fight for Filipino American studies on campus. I was, marching with the Chicana students to recognize the history of Cesar Chavez, but also Larry Itliong. So, being there on that campus was really really critical to helping me think through and learn about who I was as a Filipino American.